Darren!
What? Why are you screaming?
I don't know. Let's talk about movies.
This seems random, but you did want to talk about a film last week, right?
Actually, no. Not a film, but films entirely. Specifically, one aspect of filmmaking. The importance of a voice. Now, obviously, I record these while reading from my scripts, which causes some issues.
The fact that you have an issue with pausing randomly in the middle of sentences and leaving longer pauses that really make us as the audience members feel uncomfortable?
You don't need to call me out like that. That actually kind of hurts, but I really don't have time to learn my own scripts, then record them, then edit them if I'm going to keep putting out videos on Monday and Wednesdays.
So, what brings this up? Obviously, the voice is important. You do at least 3 per video lately, sometimes more, but usually 2 or 3, right?
Well, I was actually watching some old movies and got looking into some trailers from, almost 10 years ago. What the fuck? And looking into it, I started realizing some things about the film industry. Voice acting isn't really a job anymore. Look, hear me out. I know, David, you're voice acting right now. And I don't get paid for it. But if I did get paid for it, I'd be told to take care of my voice, and thus I wouldn't be able to do the weird voices I like. For example, look at a lot of recent movies, especially cartoons. I know, I'm pointing out that recent Garfield movie. That's not a cartoon, that's an animation. Shut up, it's a cartoon just with a different brush. But the character of Garfield the cat, that's just Chris Pratt, sounding like Chris Pratt, making no vocal changes. Okay, what about the Mario movie, or whatever they called it? No, not the original, the cartoon one. Who voices Mario? Oh right, Chris Pratt, with no vocal changes at all. What about video games? I know, different media entirely. Video game characters tend to have a lot less voice lines, unless the game is a Kojima game, at which point you're watching a movie, not playing a video game, really. I still don't know why y'all like Death Stranding so much, but who voices Mario in the 3D Mario games up until the most recent ones? In fact, let's just look at the best of them. Super Mario 64. Charles Martinet. He did retire from the role, but let's look at his IMDb to see what old voices he's done. Mario in a lot of games, and Luigi in a lot of them too, including a couple of fan projects where he meets a Combine soldier? Parthenax from Skyrim. There's a Roblox movie? There's 2 of them? He voiced a guy named Boob. Okay. Whoa, who'd he voice in Aeon Tower of Eternity? Why am I the only one that knows about this video game? Why is the IMDb in Spanish? A bunch of randoms in Hellboy, Science of Evil. Oh look, a Kane & Lynch video game has a random character with screen time but no given name. A city councilman in the Californians? Voice Zeke in Little Angels, The Brightest Christmas. And there's a lot more. Most of the IMDb is Mario adjacent, and a random character named Mario. But then you go to super evil minion in a Hellboy video game, a psycho in a Kane & Lynch, and a devout in Little Angels, and a damn dragon that we all felt bad for when we killed him after getting all the shouts. He has range. A lot of range. One of his most recent roles was Mario's dad, essentially handing the reins over to a new voice actor, which... Actually, who is the new voice actor in the video games? Kevin Afghani. They go in the French descendant to a Middle Easterner that's actually kind of hilarious. But what all has he done? Arnold in Genshin Impact, Super Mario Bros. Wonder and WarioWare, Move It, a bunch of randoms in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and... wait. He's the Vault guy in Warframe 1999? These two guys have an overlapping characters they've voiced that show how raw voice is fully capable of making fantastic artwork with sound. Meanwhile, Pratt just can't do it with his voice. He claims to be trying, but every time he says he's trying, you only hear Pratt. I shouldn't be able to know who's voicing a character within a third of a second if I can't see their face. It's why a lot of video games bother me now, because the same black woman is in all of them playing the exact same character, and the character always looks like her. Seriously, Deborah Wilson only plays the same character. She's either a shady boss, or a shady teacher, or a shady person running the show in the background. Every time, hero or villain, it's the same character. But that's also my problem with Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel. You're actors! Get some variety in! But this isn't even the worst thing I've heard when it comes to voice acting. Actors just doing their normal voices. I could bring up Peter Dinklage and the original Ghost in Destiny, but I want to talk about movies. Who remembers 2016's Warcraft movie? At the time, I was starting to fall off of WoW. I think it would be another year or two before I dropped off fully, but this trailer here. If you know this trailer, or saw the film, or just know the film, you might know what I'm about to complain about. Here, let me show you what's happening. Just listen. Close your eyes and listen.
We fight together or we die together. This war will destroy us all, but together we might stand a chance.
Did you hear that? That voice. What do you think of when you think of Orkneys? Gruff, rough, and growling voices, deep voices, something like what I'm doing right now, perhaps with lower fangs jutting up, causing some mispronunciation of words. Yeah, that's what I think of. And what are these actors doing? What, yeah? They're doing his voice, pitched down and echoed so that it sounds robotic, not growly. Look, if you don't know what you're listening to, you may not be able to pick it up. But this is something I've trained for, and you can really hear it in the roars with how airy the voices are. But what was a good way to go about it? Well, I know that my growl I can do for hours upon hours upon hours. Hot tea, some lemon drops, the candy, and something citrus to snack on. Good diets can affect a lot. But one that did very similar and did it well is, well, Peter Cullen and the voice of Optimus Prime. Not the only voice, and I think he is also retired from The Voice, but he's the most well known thanks to the Michael Bay films and the original cartoons. I'll probably talk about them in the near future. They're free on YouTube, or were last week actually, I don't know if they still are. He voiced Optimus Prime based off of how his own brother talks. It's far from his natural voice. The original character was young, cocky, and fun, but when they brought him back from the dead, he was grim and stoic. In the Bayformers movies, he's battle-hardened and fed up with all the bloodshed, or oil shed? Another actor who's rather batshit crazy is Mark Hamill. He's done the voice of the Joker, he's acted as the Trickster, Luke Skywalker obviously, the Watcher from Darksiders. He has some range, and there's a lot of other voices he's done with his own natural capabilities. And his natural voice, yeah, you wouldn't guess, really. Honestly, I could keep going just on this subject. Liam O'Brien, Matt Mercer, hell, those are two guys also in WoW and other Blizzard games. And they're movie actors too, mostly TV though. My opinion is this: let actors act. Let voices reign. Let people adapt, change, articulate, and play up and ham it up. Hell, I've probably been changing my voice during this video to make things different. Now, I have a challenge for the 20 people maybe who will see this video. Tell me who's a good voice actor and give me a role they've done that you didn't know it was them. Hell, I'll give you one. Lex Luthor, Mr. Krabs, and Detective Anderson in Detroit Become Human are all voiced by Clancy Brown. Go ahead and tell me down in the comments and shove off.